Hey everybody, it's Matt Clark here.
Joining us again is Matt Clark.
One of the bands that is touring. These guys are really good.
Yeah, they sound fantastic.
Congratulations, you made it this far. This means you're really serious about getting more and better gigs. You know, you may want to just, make a little money on the side in music as a singer, guitarist, drummer in a band, whatever you do. You probably want to make a little more money, maybe just a little bit. Or maybe you're more serious, you want to get to that point, hey, I want to just work at my job part-time because I'm making enough money in music to just work part-time. Or maybe you want to get to the point like me where you're making a living, you're supporting your family, your wife doesn't have to have a job. You are basically at the point in music where you're making enough where you can buy a house, buy multiple homes just with your money as an independent musician. Now that may not be your goal, you may just want to just get one gig. But you're here, you took the step to get the 10 steps to music success. So congratulations for taking that step. And I think these are tips and trainings I really think is going to save you time and effort, years and time and effort, trial and error that I use. So without further ado, I'm going to give you these steps. And I'm just only going to give you the overview because I don't have a lot of time. I only have about 10 or 15 minutes on this video. So step one. Is you really got to define what you want out of your music career. And a lot of people don't take this step. They just start going full head of steam, but they never take the time to decide really what they want. So what do they want? What do you want? What sort of money do you want to make? Do you want to make a little? Do you want to make a lot? Do you want to make your living? What kind of venues do you want to play? Just define what you want. Also define who you are as an artist. Who your audience is. So the step one is you really just got to define what you want and have a clear vision of that. Step two is you want to make a commitment. You got to make a commitment to music if you really want to get results. And it's something that you want to probably get specific about. So a lot of people, they do music, they kind of dabble, they're on the side, it's a hobby, and that's fine if that's your goal. But other people, like if you want to start making a little money on the side, or you want to start making serious money, you're going to have to make a commitment and say, I'm doing this, and I'm going to do this for, I'm not saying don't quit your job, definitely don't quit your job. but I'm saying make a commitment that I'm going to spend, this much time, this much effort on these type of tasks for my music, and you get specific about it. So step two is you got to make a commitment. Step three is you got to really submerge yourself in the music industry, and not just the music industry as a whole, but in the music scene in your local market. What's going on in your scene? What are the other bands that are successful? Who are the key booking people in your local market? You got to really submerge yourself in the scene, because if you're, chances are, you're here because you're working a job, you maybe don't have a lot of time to be creative in your music, and maybe once you clock out of your job and get home, all you want to do is just jam and just be creative, and that's totally cool. But if you're looking to make money a little bit at a time and get to the point where you just make your living off music, you're gonna have to really submerge yourself into the scene. And when you have time away from work or your family or whatever it is, you really got to use that time wisely and submerge yourself in the scene and really know the industry, where the industry's at as a whole. The fourth step Step four is you really have to figure out a way to share what you have with others in the right way. And for some people, that's making a CD. Obviously, you probably need your own website, some kind of free online service where you can have an EPK, electronic press kit. But not just have the website, not just have the CD, but what is your brand and how do you share it uniquely so you're going to be put to the top of the pile a little more. If there's nothing unique about your website or your band, or there's no consistency in your design, like when people see your stuff online, they gotta always know it's you. If you don't have that, you're just gonna be lost in the shuffle. So really think hard about how you're gonna share what you have. Make sure it has a brand to it and that people can always relate and know that it's you. And maybe have something unique that someone else doesn't have. That way when someone does review your material, you're gonna stand out. And then the sixth step is, and this is a very important step, is it's negotiation. Negotiation is so key. And part of the negotiation is just having a positive attitude and being positive and being able to communicate well. So, step 6 is very important because, negotiating is the key to getting the best money in gigs. It's the key to getting rehired for gigs. It's the key to just getting to the person who actually makes the decision to book a gig. Have you ever made 10 calls and you never got to the person who actually makes a decision, or the email doesn't go to the right person? You got to negotiate just to get the information to get to the right person so they can make a decision about the gig. So negotiation is key. So you want to kind of learn and practice negotiating, and it's going to allow you to, when people have questions about you, you'll be able to answer those just like that. If they have objections, about hey, why should I choose your band, or wait, I heard this about you guys, you're going to be able to answer it right away when you practice communicating and negotiating. And step 7, you really want to kind of plug yourself in and start this process. It's a cycle, right? You've gone through 6 steps, and the 7th step is you want to get this cycle set up, and basically so it's on autopilot. So you know each step to take. Hey, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, what do I do next? And you're going to map out your schedule and basically have, it relates to step 2 a lot, how you make this commitment of time and effort, but you got to be organized, and you're going to, I'm going to do this on this day, this on that day. So step 7 combines all the steps in a way, because what you want to do when you book a gig, you want to be, or you get a new fan at a show, you want to have a system that they can plug into so they can stay in the loop. It's going to give you a better chance to get rehired at the gig you booked, but also that fan, they just saw your show, they thought you were great, they're dialed into your system, but what are you going to give them to keep them as your fan? You got them as a fan for one night, but you got to keep them for more than just one night. You want them to be a fan for life, ideally, for the life of your band and as you as an artist. And then step 8 is you really have to know the score in terms of your money with music, not just your, what you're making, but what are you spending? A lot of people are going to spend $1,000 to make 1,000 CDs, but if they don't keep track of how many they need to sell at what price in order to get to the profit zone, you're going to be kind of in no man's land and go, man, we spent $1,000, have we made it back yet? And it's also, with your phone bills and your internet, you're using things for music, you're spending some money, you got to invest some time and effort in yourself and in some services to actually, get the things going with music so you can make money and get in the profit zone. So step 8 is you really got to know the score, and you really got to know what's happening, all the numbers. You put a chart up on the wall, that's probably the best way you're going to see what happens. You keep it in a computer, you got to go into your computer to look at it. But if it's up on the wall, it's right there for you. And the 9th step, it's about your attitude too. The 9th step is you just got to be persistent. Persistence is huge. Don't give up. If you're doing this and you made the commitment, you can't give up. You got to give it time. You can't just, try for a while, try these steps, and you go hey, I haven't gotten a gig yet, I haven't made money, this must not work. You got to be persistent with your effort. You can't just call a venue once and be like, hey, you want my band to play? And they say oh no, and you just give up. You got to, build the relationships, not give up. You got to be okay with some rejection. In this industry, there's a certain amount of rejection. You got to be okay with it, and you got to have a thick skin, and then just let it roll off your back if someone says no to you. So step 9 is all about, be persistent, don't give up, give it time, it takes time, don't get discouraged. And you're gonna have to plug into material like this, to stay motivated. And there's other great material online, there's books that can keep you going. And that leads into step 10. Which is a very important step. And it's you do have to invest in yourself. A lot of people, like I said, they'll spend $1,000 to make CDs and they don't know the first step of how to sell the CDs. They're trying to spend $1,000 on CDs and they don't even have any gigs to sell the CDs at. They just want to have a CD. And you hear the horror stories about people who made 1,000 CDs and they're sitting in their garage, and they never sold any, or they sold 5. You know, I've made, you know, tons and tons of pressings, 1,000-unit CD pressings, and I've sold every unit every time. And I always make thousands of dollars of profit off each 1,000-unit pressing that I make. That's because I follow a system, and I've learned from people that are experts that have done what I wanted to do. And as you know, I've done maybe what you wanted to do. I've made a living just with music, supported a family. My wife didn't have to have a job. I didn't have to have a job. We bought a house, we bought multiple homes, only with the music money that I made as an independent in my local and regional market. And you may just want to make a little extra money. That might not be your goal. But the last step, step 10, is you have to invest in yourself. You came to this website and you got these 10 steps for free. And these, you know, I don't have time, like I said, to go into all the specifics in depth. But I did create a system that can help you and go into in-depth concepts. Take all these steps and take it to the next level. So you have a step-by-step procedure you could follow. And this is going to save you those years of time and effort, trial and error that I put in the trenches. I think this is going to save you time. Then you can potentially get results, start making money with gigs, start making money to the point where you might be able to quit your job or at least work part-time. That's a potential thing for you. But if you're interested in that and you want to take the next step, if you go all the way to the bottom, there's a system that I offer. Hey, you may be able to get pretty far just because you learned these 10 steps, just the overview. You may be able to apply that and start making money right now. You don't need to spend anything. But some people want to get to where they want to go faster instead of slower.
Matt showed me some key insights as to how to book gigs, and since then I've been able to begin making money in my local market as a musician.
Not going to be that hard. We can actually book gigs that are going to pay our band.
He's helped me book some more gigs for myself. I'd like to thank you, Matt.